Blues! Today we are going to do a tag video, which we were tagged by Go Figure! And that's actually what the tag's called. It's called Go Figure Tag.
Is that how they pronounce their name?
Well, they do. They're like, hi, I'm Jessica. And they're like, hi, I'm Mia. And we're Go Figure. And they say it at the same time, the Go Figure part. So I have the questions right here. They're all figure-related questions. And no, we're not going to comment on why we're wearing these hoodies. So the first question is, what is your figure aesthetic?
I like cute girls.
So that's it? That's your figure aesthetic? Just cute girls. Anything cute girls, which is actually kind of true.
Pretty much.
Yeah, basically cute girls with a nice rack. That's what he likes to get. So for me, I think it's more of the figures that kind of tell a story. I don't know if I can explain this, but basically figures that have a nice base that isn't just like a plain disc or circle. I like ones that actually look like landscape or something else, and they have like an action pose or just sort of like a motion kind of pose, like even if they're not an action character, if it's a pose that's really elegant and flowy. I love figures like that instead of just like I'm standing there and I'm posing for you. But I'll basically go ahead and get characters who I really love too, so even if it's not a figure like that, because those are few and far between, they're a little bit more expensive and they're probably more complicated to produce and everything, so you don't see too many of like that, but when I do find them, it's like, I've got to get that figure. I have to have it. So question number 2 is, which figure are you most excited for this year?
Undecided. The reason for that is 2016 isn't even half over yet, and I'm not gonna know what is like in the future, and like my answer would kind of be like a lie if I'm like excited for a figure that hasn't been announced yet. So maybe for that unannounced figure is my most excited, anticipated. Well,
there's plenty of figures that have been announced this year, and we have some on pre-order. I guess he's just not really too excited about anything just yet. Nothing's really speaking to you.
I do, but I feel like my answer would be a lot.
So for me, I actually have a couple that I'm really excited for, and one of them is the Cheerful Miku that is getting a re-release because of the tragic earthquake that happened in Japan recently. So it's kind of a bittersweet thing for me because I'm really excited they're re-releasing it, but because they have to re-release it is really kind of sad. But Good Smile, of course, is donating some of the profits from it to help the people in need from the earthquake, so that's very good. And the second one I'm looking forward to is actually one that I have been debating for a while, and a couple of my friends might see this and be like, what? Why are you so excited for this when you weren't sure before? But it is Alter's Maki version, and I've really been on the fence on whether or not to pre-order her because she is a little bit on the expensive side where she's 14 and so thousand yen. But I finally caved on her and I said, you know what, it's Maki, I'm gonna get her. And now that I've actually pre-ordered her and I'm like stuck into paying for this and everything, the price isn't really looming over my head anymore. So I'm just stuck with excitement. And I can't wait because Alter does a wonderful job on all of their figures. They're so detailed and immaculate, and it's Maki, so I'm excited for that one as well. So the third question is, what part of figure collecting makes your heart flutter?
What kind of question is that?
Like, what do you get most excited for? So for me, what makes my heart flutter is when we actually get the figure in the mail, when we're just about to open it in our hauls and everything. It's really exciting because one, we get to share that experience with you guys because we do our haul videos and everything, but another thing is you've been waiting for this figure for months. You've heard about its release, then it finally gets on pre-order, so you make the pre-order and then it's a few more months and then you have to wait for shipping time, so it finally gets to you and you open it up and you pull away all of that paper and there is your figure just smiling back up at you, and I just love that part because it's finally in your hands and you finally get to look at it for yourself. So I think that's the part that makes my heart flutter.
Okay, so like, you know, I don't get this like whole heart fluttering thing, but like, you know, when you're on the hunt for a figure and then like when you find it, you sense it, you go in for the kill.
So basically what you're saying is when you finally find the figure that you've been waiting for such a long time and it's finally in your hands and you have it and you're like, yes! That's your favorite part? Makes your
No,
heart
no,
flutter.
it's when I'm hunting for it. I get my adrenaline starts rushing, my heart pumps a lot of blood, and like, you know, you search for it. It's about the journey.
So the hunt. You're all about the hunt.
It's about the journey, not the destination.
So question number 4 is, which figure have you dropped the most amount of cash on?
Like, a bunch of our figures are over like $100, and you know, it's hard to keep track after that.
He gets really upset if we spend over $100 on one figure. He's so like penny pincher, and he's like, whoa, no,
Well,
I can't spend that much on a figure, no way. And I'm here like just throwing them in the cart and everything, like, oh no, totally, we can do this. But I think the figure that I've spent personally the most amount of money on was the Miku Love is War figure, and it's not even the DX version, but I think I managed to get her from Mandarake with shipping for like $170-ish, which is a pretty good price for her because she's really hard to get. Look, he's already all upset. He's like, oh my god, I can't believe you spent that much. This is why I don't tell him how much money I spent. I'm just like, oh, look at all these figures we got. It'll be okay.
Think of our future!
Question number 5. Prize figures. Be honest. Hell yeah or hell no?
Sorry, I can't be honest because those are such polarizing answers.
So you're in middle ground then?
Yes, because obviously some like prize figures look like shit and like others look fantastic.
So for me, I have nothing against prize figures personally. If it's a character that I like and a design that I like, I will go for it. But I would prefer to get a scale because they're a lot more detailed and everything. But I have no problem getting a prize figure if it's cute. Question number 6. What do your parents think about your figures?
They don't know.
That's kind of how it is with my parents too. They have been to our apartment, I think, once after they helped us move in and set everything up, just because we live like less than a mile away from them, so we always go over to their house because it's a house and we have a teeny tiny apartment. But the one time they did come over, it was very early on, so a lot of our figures still fit in the closet, like the ones in boxes, and we only had a few out and displayed at the time. And they came in and they saw one, which was the Insane Black Rock Shooter, which was just kind of displayed by herself at the time, and they kind of just looked at it and they're like, oh, this must be Dan. So I just haven't really told them because I don't want them to be like, you spent what? What are you doing with your lives? Question number 7. Which figure would you be the most embarrassed to show to your grandma? Let me rephrase the question in another way, because between the two of us, we only have one living grandma. And so we'll say, which is the figure that you'd be most embarrassed to like show anyone? Like your boss, or like some really, like a nun?
Mommy bath towel.
Mommy bath towel? How come?
Do I need to really explain that one?
Everybody takes a bath? I don't know why everyone's so shameful of that figure. I mean, nothing is showing, maybe a little cleavage, but I think she's decent enough. I don't really know which one I would choose because I don't buy a lot of scantily clad ones, just because a lot of the characters that I love are either like really just badass and tough, or they're just really cutesy and adorable. But if I had to choose one, it still wouldn't be one of mine, but when we first got her, I was a little hesitant about putting her even in our living room, even though we don't have anybody but like the landlord come in. But it would be Gertrude Barkhorn from Strike Witches, is it by Alter? The Alter version, just because she doesn't wear any pants. And she just has...
None of them wear pants.
Well, okay, most of them don't wear pants. Some of them have leggings, so it kind of still covers it up. But she doesn't have any pants. And so you can just see her panties and her pose. She's just like spread eagle out. Kind of, it's a flying pose, so it's not supposed to be anything really overly sexual. But just because she just has panties and her legs are spread out, that one I think I would be the most embarrassed to show to someone prim and proper. So the last question we have is, where do you see your figure collection in 10 years? And I already don't think we can beat Go Figure's answers because they came up with some really cool creative ones, like if they had all the money in the world, what they could do, and those are pretty awesome. So I don't think we can beat those.
Of course I could beat it.
Alright, go ahead, try. Where do you see your figure collection in 10 years?
Done, so.
You don't think we'll be collecting in 10 years?
oh, well, we're gonna have a family to feed. You know, this cannot keep up forever.
Well, we don't have to continue to collect as much.
No, I have to become completely business oriented. You know, I have to think of the future for our kids. You know, we have to have enough money to save up for college for them. Because, you know, you don't want to give them crippling student debt.
Well, I don't think that's going to happen because we might slow down when we have kids because we won't have enough money to spend on ourselves, like he says. But I can't see myself giving away all of them. So I think we might slow down. I might just pick up a few that I really, really love and can't pass up. But I would really like to have just a room, which I think Jessica said too, her more realistic one from Go Figure. But that's always been kind of my dream, is just to have Detolf set up. I don't think it would just be like a figure room so you just walk in and like admire it. I would want it to have more functionality as well. I can't see it as a room that I'd let like our future kids go into until they're older, because I'd be afraid something would either fall on them, like heaven forbid a Detolf just falls over and smashes on a kid's head. I'd be so afraid of that, but also I'd be afraid of them breaking them as well, like if they're like, oh, this is a cool figure, and picking it up and like breaking them with kid hands. So it'd be like an office kind of room maybe. We'd have our computers in there, and then we'd have some Detolf set up and some other shelving units and everything, and I think that's how I see our figure collection in 10 years. So those were our answers to the Go Figure tag. Thank you, Jessica and Mia, for creating such a fun tag. I really like the questions that you came up with. So then, who do we tag? Well, we tag everybody, of course. If you want to do this, then go ahead. Feel free. We'd love to see your answers. So if you do this tag, let us know. I'm sure Go Figure would also love to see what you guys come up with, so you can let them know too. So I will put a link to their video in the description so you can see where it all originated from. But I'll also put specific people who we tag down there as well. So thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you again next time. Bye, Peekabloos!
Remember in the beginning she said we're not going to explain the story behind the hoodies?
We're not.
It was actually my idea.
We're not explaining it. We're not. Ah! That was scary. Oh my god, the light just flickered and like sparked.